Felicia, I see you've got a new toy.
Tim, I got a new toy.
What, pray tell, is this?
This is the new LOKLiK cutting machine.
Like you need another cutting machine.
I don't have enough.
All right, so it looks about the size of your Cricut Maker.
Right.
And a little smaller than the Cricut.
A little bigger than the Cricut Joy Extra.
All right, so tell me about this thing. What do we know so far?
So far we know that it is a cutting machine.
All right, I have to tell you that the manual and the instructions are, the English is not great.
No.
There's not a lot of guides. There's not a lot of solutions to frequently asked questions. So would you say this is the official English-speaking, American English-speaking guide to LOKLiK?
I think so.
I think I would say that too.
Yeah.
Well, it's not official, but
yeah. Well,
it's
close
as you're going to get. All right, tell us what you know so far.
All right, so far we just pulled it out of the box. And what you get in the box is the machine, the power cord, the USB cable. You get a housing for the pen slot. You get a housing for the blade. It comes with 4 blades, 2 fine point red ones, 2 deep point blue ones.
Oh.
So that's kind of nice. It also comes with a pen, but not just any pen. It's a dual tip pen.
But wait, there's more.
So one end is fine point. And one end is a brush.
Exceptional.
Right? That's kind of nice.
That's not for the machine. Is that for you just drawing?
No, that's for the machine.
Oh, exciting.
It goes to the pen housing. So we'll play with that in the future.
You should. Now, this is an old school USB cord.
Yes, it is.
And a lot of computers today do not have this. A lot of the Macs don't have it. We don't know if it works with Mac yet, do we?
We don't. We haven't tried.
All right, so we'll have to go through that experiment too. All right, what else do we have here?
It came with a piece.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Does it connect with Bluetooth?
It does connect with Bluetooth.
All right, good. Then we don't need this.
We're going to show how that works. It's different.
Get this out of here. Go ahead.
It also came with a piece of LOKLiK HTV material.
All right.
It came with a standard grip mat, which is nice. It came with a quick start guide, which on one side shows you the materials that come in the box, and on the other side a quick start of how to get going. It came with a warranty card, right? And it also came with a product manual.
Uh-oh.
All right, so one of the questions you asked earlier is what can you cut with this machine?
Right on.
Right, so over here in the manual is a QR code. And when you scan that QR code, you get a list of cutting parameters for the different types of materials that this machine will cut.
Right, this is where it gets a little weird, and you'll show us how this works?
This is where it gets a little weird, okay? It's got materials that are provided by LOKLiK or HTV RONT. And then on the second page, it has parameters for the materials that you would use for other brands like Cricut.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you have to set it manually for off brands.
For off brands, you have to manually set the cutting parameters, but for their brands or HTV RONTs, then it pulls it in automatically.
And I did notice there are a lot of brands that are not on here, including some of your HTV Showdowns.
Yes.
So you think just kind of closely match it as close as possible?
Match. I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's take a look.
Let's do it.
Oh, wait. You didn't open it yet.
Oh, wait.
That.
Oh, my
Go
gosh.
ahead.
We should open it up, right? So let's take a look inside. All right. So when we open it up, this little rubber tab you lift up and it opens up. It's got a housing component for your pens and then one for your blades. It's got storage space, just like the Maker has.
Nice.
Here, as well as a compartment over here for things to be stored. And we'll go ahead and pull out our pen housing and put that in slot, they call it P.
P for pen.
P for pen, I guess, and lock that in. And then we'll open up this little lever here to open up the housing for...
B for bingo.
B for bingo or blade.
Oh.
So this is the housing for the blade, and we're going to go ahead and pull out one of the fine point blades. It's got the safety...
Don't cut yourself. Be careful.
It's got the safety tip on there on one end. So we're just going to pop that out, carefully put in the slot, the blade, and it's in there.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh.
And then put this right in slot B and close the clamp. And it is a little stiff, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's it, huh?
And that's it. Now the power button, you do have to, well, once we plug it in, I found that you have to hold this power button down for a couple of seconds for it to actually kick on.
Oh, okay. That might be confusing to people.
But I think what we're going to do is we're going to use their provided HTV material.
Oh, look at
and
that.
We're going to go ahead.
I have underwear that looks like that.
And we're going to go ahead and do one test cut to see what it's like. I think it's LOKLiK's logo maybe or something. I'm not sure. Okay?
Okay, that's acceptable. I would totally wear this out, would you?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Okay.
You're going to test cut with that using the ink. They come with a mat, right?
It did come with a mat. So we're going to use the standard grip mat that came with it,
Okay.
along with the HTV that came with it, and we're just going to cut the word LOKLiK and see how it comes out.
All right.
All right, so to plug in the power cord, it's this on the side. We're just going to plug that right in, and then we'll plug that into the wall. But if you're using the USB connector, you would also plug that in here as well. This is LOKLiK's Idea Studio software. It's kind of simple looking, but it does have some clunkiness to it if you're not used to it. And I'm not. I'm brand new. This is my first time using the software. So the first thing we're going to do is cut just some text with the HTV material that came with the machine.
Okay.
So we're going to click on the text tool and then click anywhere on a design. And unlike if you're used to Cricut's design space software, when you click the text tool, it says text on the screen. This one comes up and says LOKLiK. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab the corners just like I would if I were using Cricut Design Space software and resize that and put it on my screen.
Do you think they got this name from TikTok and they're trying just to be fancy
I have no idea.
and bougie?
No idea.
All right, so how big is that?
So it's just under 3 inches.
All right, do you have metrics or imperial measurements on there?
I have imperial measurements on
Okay,
here,
good.
and if I right click on the inches in the corner, I can select inches here, and then that changes my dimensions on my
For our
image.
European friends,
Yes.
South American,
Yes.
New Zealand, Australia,
Right.
rest of the world.
Right. So this is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do any kind of creative designs. I'm not going to pull any images in this time. I'm just going to try to cut text and see how it works.
Okay.
So with the text on the page, I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Task in the top right corner.
That's weird.
Right. Now this
No
is where-
devices connected, Felicia.
No devices connected, Felicia. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure we have standard cut selected here as our mode.
Oh, printing
right.
cut. Interesting.
Right. So then here under my device, it's got this Bluetooth connection icon. If you don't mind, would you go ahead and turn the machine on behind me?
The machine is on after 1-2 seconds.
Okay. And once it comes on, I'm going to go ahead and click on that icon for Bluetooth.
Oh, so you don't connect it through Windows
I don't
Bluetooth.
connect it through Windows. It makes the connection
Interessante.
right here in the software.
Wow, that's special. That's kind of like your iPad.
Right.
That's a battery saving feature, actually, because it's not always talking to it. Oh, there it is.
There it is. So it found my LOKLiK crafter cutting machine here.
Meow.
And the size mat I'm going to use is a 12 by 12 mat.
It'll cut up to 12 by 24, I saw on the box.
Yep,
That's
12 by
interesting.
24 right here.
Cool.
Okay. And the
Whoa,
brand,
whoa, Cameo.
yeah, it's got settings for the Cameo.
What?
I don't know why, and I don't know why Cricut or any of the others aren't listed there.
Interesting.
Interesting, right? And then under material for brand, we're going to use the LOKLiK brand that came with it.
I believe that's the same company. Isn't HTV
I
Ront?
believe that they are the same companies,
Okay.
yes. And when I click on that, under material, I can have a selection of different vinyls that I can cut with the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I'm going to select, let's see here.
It looks glossy.
It looks glossy. It's not permanent vinyl, it's HTV though. Pattern HTV, that's what I wanted. It's in the list here somewhere. Oh, I didn't scroll down
Oh,
far
okay, I
enough.
see.
Okay. So pattern HTV, and we're going to cut it on a 12 by 12 mat.
Did the force
Now-
change when you
now,
changed those?
When it didn't. When I selected pattern, I had pattern selected the whole time.
Okay.
It because it's LOKLiK material, it automatically told me or set the parameters for force and speed.
Hmm.
Now, if I were to change this to other, say I was using a piece of Cricut vinyl,
Uh-oh.
right, and I chose shimmer vinyl, the force is not set for me. So I'd
Oh,
have to
God.
refer to that sheet you showed a second ago
Oh, God.
and adjust the force manually here. I can type it in or I can use these arrows up
So
and down.
this is the sheet here. So you'd have to go
Right.
here and then,
manually
okay, I
manually
see.
adjust it, right?
Okay.
But in our case, we're going to use that piece that they provided us, and it is the LOKLiK Pattern HTV. So the force is set for us, the speed is set for us, the tool is a blade, not a pen, and it's going to make one pass.
Do you think the force is with you?
I think the force is going to be with one of us in a minute.
Okay, good.
So then, because this is HTV, we do want to go ahead and mirror our canvas.
Oh.
So you can mirror it vertically or horizontally.
Why would you do it vertically?
I don't know the
Oh,
answer
if
to
your
that
stuff was
question.
sideways, maybe?
Maybe. Now I clicked it, so it's blue. But when you look graphically at the screen on my canvas,
Still there.
it's still not mirrored. So we're going to assume that it is because the icon
Click
turned
the other
blue.
one.
Now it's going to do it both ways. That's interesting.
Okay.
All right, so we'll turn that one off and we'll just have it do a horizontal. And
Okay.
we'll go ahead and say cut. No layer selected. So we'll go ahead and check that.
Well, what's a folder?
Not sure. So this is where it gets a little funny.
Yeah.
It's not. We're not used to this.
What if you just selected text?
I did just select text. That's the only.
Oh.
It's the only thing in that folder, I guess, for this particular job.
Weird.
So we're going to go ahead and click cut. And here it is right here. Oh, in the cutting list here that we see on the screen, if you look carefully, as I've hovered over it, you can see that LOKLiK is reversed.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to go load the material on our mat, which means we put the vinyl side, pattern side down, and get ready to cut. All right. So we're going to remove the protective cover from the mat and set that aside. And we're going to take our LOKLiK HTV and put it on our mat upside down.
How do you like the LOKLiK mat?
It's nice and sticky. I like it. I like it a lot. Look how sticky that is. That's some serious. That's some serious stick. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So we've got our material on our mat.
Oh, like
it is super sticky.
Rice Krispies.
And we're just getting those bubbles out. Okay. So we're going to come over to our machine, put it between the guides. Then you're going to go ahead and click load. And when you click load here, the machine is going to go ahead and suck in the mat.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and show that. I'll click here, but I want you to show it loading into the machine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click load in the software. It pulls the mat in.
So you don't have to load it with the button.
You don't have to load it with the button necessarily. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on start.
So that's a difference. The Cricut.
The Cricut Maker will only work when you start pressing the play button or the go button on the machine. This one you can do it from the software. Here's a difference. This is a mistake, right? We all learn from these things. So when we flipped it and mirrored it, it pushed it all the way over to the right. Well, that's not where my vinyl is. See, when I do that in other software, it leaves it in the same spot.
Oh.
So I'm going to go ahead and unload this mat. I'm just going to adjust my material.
Thank goodness you're doing the English version of this.
All right.
I didn't know where to go.
I'm going to put that mat back between the guides.
Okay. Do you know how many people you're saving right now from grief?
Well, we can learn together, right?
Yeah. I want to say for everybody, thank God you made this video to help people through their LOKLiK experience.
You're funny.
I mean that.
You're sweet.
It's kind of quiet.
It is very quiet. I thought the same thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't have the noise. Even
It does
quieter than the Cricut.
I agree with you. I agree.
How about the speed? What do you think?
I think it's...
We should do a speed test.
We should do a speed test, but I think it's about the same as the others.
It's done.
It's
That's
done.
pretty quick.
Right?
It was a small cut. All right, what do you do now?
Not too sharp. I'm going to go ahead and click unload on my screen. Grab it. And then you can see that it's cut.
All right, yeah,
See that?
see that there in the right place.
So I'm going to go ahead and remove that from my mat. I got to admit, I really like that mat. It's very sticky. That's nice, very nice. And then whatever corner I cut, it's up here. I'm just going to trim out that piece. Let's see how it cut. Perfect. Not a problem.
Look at you.
Our first cut with the LOKLiK.
That's not terrible as long as you remember that when you mirror it flips the entire mat.
It flips everything over to the far right.
Especially if you're using smaller pieces of vinyl. There it is.
Right. So that was our first experience with the LOKLiK. It's interesting. It's a little different. I think the software is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I don't think it's overly complicated.
Okay.
I think some of the settings you have to set manually, but it is what it is.
You promised your social media group that you do a sticker and some other stuff with this.
We're going to do a sticker tomorrow and a t-shirt, I think.
Awesome.
And post some more videos.
So make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and you'll find out all about LOKLiK. Well, thanks for doing this, Felicia.
You're welcome.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
I knew she was going to say that. Did you say goodbye to yourself?
I did.